here. All right. First things first. First of all, welcome to Trucking Topics today, and let's get the technical stuff out of the way. Can you see me? Can you see my ugly mug? And can you hear me okay? Let me look at some comments here. Orlando, how are you, brother? How are you? And can you guys hear me? I'm waiting for somebody because I hate to just keep talking and not actually, I can do it. Yeah? Okay, great. Thank you, Andrea. Let me know if I get too loud. I'm not monitoring myself today with headphones. So if I'm too loud or I need to bump it up, please let me know. Okay. I do just want to check one thing real quick. Yeah. Yeah, sounds like I'm coming through okay. All righty. Welcome. It's been a while since I've done a live, but I wanted to get this done today rather than make a video and go in and edit it and have it wait another couple of days to come out. We are going to talk mainly about Amazon today and some things that are going on with them. And I will have at the end some information on how some of you newer carriers can continue on in your business without Amazon, if that is the case. So stay with me there. Also, you guys can ask questions. I'm not sure how many people will wind up coming on or how many questions we will get. However, I will try to get to those questions. If you guys do wind up sending a super chat through YouTube, I will be sure to get those questions answered for sure sometime during the stream. Okay. I do have some notes here. Let me just grab those real quick. Bring my iPad over here. All right. All right. So here we go. I've introduced myself. It's been a while since I've been on screen. Yeah, looks like I just keep getting older, but that's all right. We still have good information here. So let's get right into it, you guys. We're going to talk about Amazon and what is going on with them. I believe I might have some Facebook users today as well. That'll be a first. I'm trying to stream over there at the same time. So if you're from Facebook, let me know in the comments. And again, ask me questions if you want. So let's talk today about what Amazon has been up to. And like I said, I'll have some suggestions for your business at the end if you stay through with me. Let's start with about February. About February, I started getting emails about people who didn't use my service to get signed on with Amazon, but just random emails from people who have seen my Amazon videos wanting to know whether or not it takes a week or 2 weeks to hear back from Amazon when an application is submitted. And usually it's a fairly quick process. Anywhere between 24 and 48 hours is the norm for that. And I thought it kind of interesting that I was getting so many emails about people who have submitted their applications and have not been getting any calls or emails back from Amazon. Now, some of them did receive some emails back. One of them mentioned, in terms at least on getting signed on, that they were having problems with their software on their end with on-ramping new carriers, and that they were working on it. Well, that drug on for a couple of weeks. Actually, that started end of January. That drug on through a couple of weeks through February. And then I started getting emails about carriers being revoked and their credentials being taken away from Amazon. And when Amazon does this to a carrier, They absolutely give you no reason why. You have just about no recourse. And so something like that is hard to fight if you don't know what the reason is that they're suspending you first and then revoking, or just straight out revoking. Um, I had 7 or 8 emails within a week's period of time that happened to people that I even helped get signed on with, and other people who are just came by my channel and decided to ask me questions about, hey, what do you know about this email about getting revoked? Well, some of the emails allowed the carriers to submit an appeal, and a lot of them did not. So I don't know what the criteria was for submitting an appeal, but under every circumstance where at least I'm aware of that was done, there were no appeals that were approved, and everyone wound up getting disqualified without reason, just no information at all. I think this is a huge failure on Amazon's part. They have always been sketchy with customer service. Now, when I joined them in 2007, I didn't have any problems communicating. In fact, I think I had a dedicated manager that I could email or call, and then eventually they, got rid of that. Obviously, it is impossible to contact anybody at Amazon personally by email. Even me, I don't have those contacts. The contacts I have are owner operators out there running their business and telling me what's going on with their business. So once I started getting all these other emails regarding terminations of the contracts and everything, I started getting into it a little bit, and I found out that actually one thing is that Amazon has stopped onboarding new carriers. That had to start right about the end of January. I took it as being our slow season. So they're just kind of cleaning house a little bit. Um, Basically, what they were saying is too many trucks, not enough freight. I mean, that kind of makes sense this time of year, right? We all know this is our slow time of year. But then all of these other emails with being deactivated and revoked and suspended and everything, I don't, and then they sent out an email that said that um, hundreds of carriers who were sent the email that they were suspended or revoked was done in error. And by the way, I've seen these emails and I wanted to bring them up for you and show you on the live, but I just didn't have time to do that. But I'm going to tell you, I have seen these emails. I have them in my email. So they said they were having problems bringing people on, and that they would, that they were having problems with their software canceling contracts and suspending people, and it was done in error, and that they were in the process of working on their software so that they can get rid of that issue, and then everybody will at some point in time be able to automatically sign back on. I do want to tell you something that happened today, though. So there was one of my clients who got this email this morning, and same thing, no information at all. And I see that, Andrea, you got that. I'm curious, Andrea, do you have access back now on the board? Is it full access or just partial access? The guy this morning says that even though Amazon is doing an investigation on his account, he doesn't have access to the relay board, but somehow he has access to the contracts. I don't know. That's what he's telling me. But also about this, he sent me a text that he received about 2 hours after he got the email from Amazon. And the text, forgive me while I reach for my phone here, the text was very suspicious to me. Just hold, I really want to get the website address here. Okay, so somehow I've misplaced that. I'm going to look at it as I'm talking. But anyway, it said something about, yes, your account was deactivated. Please click on the following link and to restore your Amazon account. And that link, I went ahead and clicked on it. I told him not to, and he didn't click on it before he contacted me. But when I clicked on it, it went to a like a phishing website. It was a dangerous website. Now, what I want to know is how did he get that email sent to him 2 hours after he was revoked or suspended or noted that he was under investigation? So somebody had that information, and okay, great, thank you, Andrew. You have full access. So they are fixing that. Okay, I'm glad. You're the first one that I've heard that you've actually gotten access back. Okay. But I'm wondering how he got that text. It was a very curious issue. So if any of you out there do get some kind of a text like that, saying to click on this, look at the URL, and I apologize. I don't know why I can't find that on my phone right now. I may have accidentally deleted it, but look at the URL and make sure it's going to the Amazon website, okay? Amazon Relay, amazonsomething.com, okay? Just Amazon, wouldn't be amazonrelay.com, but you'll be able to tell if it's an Amazon link. If it doesn't say Amazon anywhere in it, please don't click on that. It's just going to a phishing website. And I found that very, very interesting today. Just the fact that it happened, and more importantly, how did it happen? How did they get their phone number, their Amazon phone number to text it to? So please be aware of that situation. Okay, well, let's see who else we have here. It says Troy is here. I know a couple of Troys. And Orlando, what you got here? Yeah, Orlando, you're absolutely right, man. So what he's saying is that he had a hard time renewing his insurance, and then it gets suspended, right? And Amazon is supposed to be pulling this information from RMIS automatically when your insurance comes up for renewal. They should start checking at the 30-day mark before your insurance expires, and it should automatically update Amazon's system, but it does not. So then, in one way or the other, that's the only way they check it is through RMIS. So then the owner has to get involved and call RMIS and talk to Amazon through emails or whatever. And it's a big pain in the neck. That should be a 30, starting at 30 days. Like, this is how most brokers do it. Starting at that 30-day mark, they just start checking your insurance every day through RMIS to make sure that you've been updated. And there's been times where people have been disqualified from Amazon because of this, and the owner winds up getting the insurance somehow corrected, or not even corrected, but just updated to Amazon somehow, and they've still been denied to come back. So, here's what I tell everybody about Amazon. I'm not an Amazon guru. A lot of people look at me for Amazon expertise. The only expertise I really have is what I did when I pulled from them in 2017 and part of 2018, how I signed on with them, and what they look for. Other than that, it may appear that because of all of my Amazon videos that I try to push Amazon. And in fact, I would push, but only for one reason, because it was an easy company to get on with brand new authority. Okay. But normally, what I say is, well, if you want to look at Amazon, that's fine. Um, but I think we should look at other places as well, because you shouldn't just have one broker in your back pocket. And Amazon has a lot of issues in terms of communication. All of you out there that are running for Amazon right now have had some kind of communication issue, whether it be for your pay, whether it be for truck order not used. That's a pain in the rear to get paid. Whether it's you're missing payments on a load, or you just want some simple questions answered. Amazon is not good at all with communicating with us carriers. And I really don't know why. Well, I didn't do it for very long, but I just don't know why anybody would stick around with that kind of non-support. So I recommend other places to go and have in your back pocket. One of those is Convoy. Convoy depends on what part of the country you're in, but they're good. You can go with Landstar. Now, when I say Landstar, I'm not necessarily talking about I'm not talking about their BCO program, Business Capacity Owner program, where you lease onto them. Landstar has a division much like Amazon, where you can haul Amazon Landstar loads in their trailer. And I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted here. I'm looking at some comments. Okay. Most of the Landstar loads will be live unloads and live loads. Well, it could be. You're going to probably pick up a loaded trailer. You're going to go live unloaded. It probably will always be a live unload. They might have some drops. I don't know. But then if you're going to keep working with them, I'm sure you're going to have some loads as well. Whereas Amazon's just all drop and hook, right? So Landstar.com, and the program you want to look for is their carrier network. Authorized carrier network. That's it. Go to Landstar.com. There's a button there that says join us, and then look at their authorized carrier network. And that is the same thing that Amazon does for you. And by the way, when you pull an a Landstar load and you're under that load, you get full use of their fuel card, which is a fantastic fuel card, one of the best in the industry. Okay. So the other idea I have is the DAT board. So you can go to trydat.net if you want to. Let's see, I don't even have that here. You can go to trydat.net if you would like to try out the DAT board free for 30 days. And this is what I say: sign up, get the free 30 days. If you don't want it afterwards, just be sure to call them and cancel. But use that 30 days to do research. And I want you to research the lanes that you want to run. You'll be able to research rates. You'll be able to research how many loads and are available on any specific day. You'll be able to see how many loads are coming into your state, how many loads are going out of your state. You've probably seen some of my DAT videos about that. But use that 30 days to research and see if you're going to be able to get some good DAT loads, or if there's consistent freight out of your particular area or wherever you want to run. So you can get free 30 days if you go to trydat.net. So trydat.net. Also, if you guys want to talk to me a little bit, all of a sudden here in the past 2 weeks, I've been getting a lot of people wanting to talk on the phone. So And I think I had 4 calls today. It's really been unbelievable. But if you wanna talk to me, you can go to, tonytime dot and it's not .com, it's .co. Guess I can go in and somehow change that real quick. So it's tonytime.co, and you can, access my calendar there. Let me change it while I'm, going through all this. Okay, here we go. Let's put the right one up. There we go. Um, as little as 15 minutes, a half hour, or up to an hour. And like I said, you have full access to my calendar. Now, listen, if I'm not available when you want to call, just email me, and I will be happy to see if I can slip you in between other appointments or on a day where I'm not available at all. Okay. Um, so at any rate, uh, I want to talk about. Let me hold on. Let me just check and see some comments here real quick. Um, okay, Dwayne. This has been a problem, Dwayne. This isn't the first time that I've heard of this, where they suspended him for claiming that he was using a bot for the geofence, which is false. I've heard of that issue. I wouldn't even know how to do that. I guess I could Google it. How do I get a bot for the geofence? But I have heard of that. I just don't know how it's done. Um, but is it another excuse that Amazon's using? I don't know. Um, and yes, Phil, we'll bring your comment up, bud. Uh, so if this matters with any broker you're working with, you don't always need to have workers' comp. I mean, I know whether or not you do, or I can Google it for you, but I don't like to do that. So I give you as much help as possible, and I say, like, Google single member LLC in Delaware with no employees. Do I need workers' comp? Something like that. And the answer is going to come up right away. Okay. So Amazon will give you a waiver for workman's comp if your state doesn't allow you to have it. If your state wants you to have it for your particular type of business and number of employees, then Amazon's going to want you to have it. Okay. But there's many instances where no, because most of us starting out, right, we just start out as an LLC, and it's a one member LLC, and there's no employees. 99.9% of the time, you're not going to need workers' comp. All right. So that's good. Yeah. Don't get insurance that you don't need. Right. Here's another comment. Andrea is saying that the algorithms are terrible when trying to find a round trip load, period. Yes, as a matter of fact, back when I was doing Amazon a lot in 17 and 18, there were very few round trip loads. There's a little bit more now, but basically it's an issue, actually. Let's see what's Orlando saying. Okay, to all of you who are new here, Amazon is getting worse and worse in relation with communication and disputes. It's getting a joke, and you only get 2 chances to correct the issue, if not in sending the email. So listen, Amazon, whatever they're asking you to do, and it's from the very beginning, when they sign on, when they're trying to get you to sign on, and they call you to verify your company, and basically all they do is they call you and say, are you such and such company? What's your email address? Boom, you're approved. But you have to get to that point, right? So if they're calling you, you're approved. But they're only going to try you twice. And if you don't answer the second time, they're just going to deny your application. And then it's a pain in the rear to reapply, if it's even possible. It is possible, and I help people do that. For those of you who want to take a look at Amazon in terms of getting approved, I do everything through relayapproval.com. Okay, you can go there, and there's a form that you fill out, information I need, and the service it's offered, and so forth. You can go there. That is on my website, which is trekkingtopics.com. Everything is there, by the way, for the for the for the company at trekkingtopics.com. Everything's listed there. At any rate, what was I saying about getting signed on with Amazon? You guys want to go to the big news? Let's go to the big news. So I probably helped maybe about 10 folks between the end of January and about 3 weeks into February. Well, it was a little bit more than that. And of course, Amazon was not answering anybody, or they'd send out a message every now and then. I did see a message that says, "You have been approved for Amazon Relay." There, or you will be approved for Amazon Relay. We will contact you when they're ready to do that. Nothing else is needed on your end. So I've physically seen those emails, but in the same vein, they have stopped onboarding. Amazon stopped onboarding new carriers from about the middle of February or the first part of February. They just stopped onboarding, but they didn't tell anybody that. They would send out these emails saying, "Oh, our system is down for onboarding," or this or that. There was like 3 different emails that they sent out that wouldn't say they've stopped onboarding. And then finally, at the very end, I did see an email where it said that they're not onboarding. Now, I have heard that it was only going to last a couple of weeks where they're not onboarding because of the season. However, they are still not onboarding. But when they do onboard, let's go to the big news. And the big news is that most of the people that I was trying to help January, February are very disappointed right now, because as of March 1st of this year, 6 days ago, Amazon is now requiring your authority to be aged 180 days or 6 months. Okay. It's always been day one since they started Relay. And just this month, they've gone to 180 days. So those of you with authority or with applications hanging out there that they haven't responded to, unfortunately, they're not going to consider you until you're about 180 days along. Okay. And you can find that information out at relay.amazon.com. There's a link at the top for frequently asked questions. And the very first question that is listed there are requirements to sign on with Amazon Relay. And it will tell you right there in that first little blurb that they now will not consider you for 180 days. So that really sucks for new authorities out there. And it takes one of the brokers away that it was a good idea to get on with new authority. So that's why I say now that Landstar and Convoy are a good bet. And I saw a blurb there, Orlando, a minute ago. I'll go back and look at it. You said something about Landstar. I do help, by the way, with getting you signed up with Landstar and Convoy. If you wish, if you're not technical in that area, you can go to betterloads.net, betterloads.net. So betterloads.net, you can just sign up there, and I can get you signed up with Landstar and Convoy. Otherwise, you can head over there and do that yourself. The DAP board is again, go to trydat.net, trydat.net, and do your research. Use those 30 days, if you haven't done it yet, to do your research and look at lanes and rates where you are at. Let me go to some comments here and questions. All right. Yeah. Hey, Mark, you're absolutely right. And you're one of the lucky ones where it is three employees before you need to start having workers' comp. So yeah, you luck out there because most places it's only one, sometimes it's two, but I think there's you and one other state over there on the east side that allows three employees without workman's compensation. And this is correct. This was not an issue. Uh, Big J, this was not an issue a few years ago. Um, it is, well, maybe even a little bit more than a few years ago, but it is now. And Andrea, I think, mentioned earlier, talking about Amazon's algorithm. I mean, man, it just sucks. I mean, it totally sucks. I don't, I don't, I like getting people started with Amazon, getting them in there, especially new drivers, okay, getting them in there, hooking up, pulling, you know, dropping off, just so they can get into the swing of trucking a little bit. Because we do have some new truckers out there that weren't even in the industry before that just come right out and get their own business, right? So, but please remember there. I always say that Amazon should not be the only person in your pocket, and I said that earlier. You need to get signed up with Landstar, and you need to get. And I see you just came up with that, Mark. Uh, uh, I just talked about Landstar just a little bit ago, but I'll bring it back up right now. Landstar, Convoy, and the DAP board. Listen, you guys are going to be busy there, and I doubt that after you start making relationships with the DAP board and with the Landstar agents, or even with Convoy. And after 3 months, you can look at JB Hunt 360 app, which is really good. It's not so good out here on the West Coast, but it's really starts getting good in the Midwest and is excellent on the East Coast, from what I've heard. So uh, your authority aging is it's got to happen. But look, starting out, Landstar. So, Mark, you can go to landstar.com. There is a button in the top right hand corner that says Join Us. And I'm not saying to join them as a BCO, as a lease operator. That's how I started in my trucking business, but I was only there a year before I, decided I wanted to go out on my own fully. But they do have a program. It's called their Authorized Carrier Network. So when you click on that Join Us button, look for that authorized carrier link, and you can start the application process there, I believe. Okay. You do get to have their, get use of their fuel card, which is fantastic. And while you're under a load with them only, though. But they do have some benefits. They have loads all over the United States, so they are a good option. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about rates right now. Okay, I'm talking about options for you guys to go to, and you can look into the rates and so forth. But I'm going to tell you, I think under most circumstances, you're looking at rates that are and better working conditions than Amazon Relay. So Amazon's a good place to start, but unless you're a big fish and you've got, and I'm saying big, but if you've got 5 trucks and more, then you can get on um, a year-round contract, dedicated contract with Amazon. It comes up every year. It's a bidding thing. You got to bid on it. That's where you're going to start making some money with Amazon. But working off, look at the spot market, man. That relay board these days, it just kills us. Okay, so again, look at Landstar Convoy and the DAP board again. Okay, that's going to be your best bet right now. I do have some DAT videos to show you how to search if you're a box truck company, to show you how to search for box truck loads. And I have some stuff there for the DAT board for semis too. And I'm going to be starting to do more of the DAT board in terms of videos. Um, let's see what else is here. Yeah, Andrea, that's right. I was just talking about the 180-day rule that just changed March 1st. Um, yeah, that's funny there, bud. Um, Now Orlando brings up an interesting point here. This is this is kind of the thinking in the back of my head, and I'm not really much of a person who, you know, is a conspiracy theorist or try to find excuses for several things. But I'm going to tell you from what I've seen from Amazon in the past month and a half, really makes me wonder whether or not they are cleaning house and, you know, might be bringing in or making room for their trucks. And they do have trucks in uh, certain warehouses throughout the country. They do have their own uh, company trucks. So who knows why they're doing it, but it just seems like they're doing it the wrong way to me. I have thought about this, Orlando, but the way there's their spending accounts, and I've just never seen it like this. So I mean, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say I've thought about it, that they might be doing something like this. Hey, Phil. Yes, TQL is another site you can go to for new authority. How are you finding the rates there, Phil? And what area are you in? I know that TQL over here on the West Coast wasn't really good for me. Just like the JB Hunt app wasn't good for me, the Coyote app wasn't good for me. You got to find out what's good in your area. But I wonder if you have a hold yet on what kind of rates TQL has. Very curious about that. And Andrea, Landstar and Convoy do not have box truck loads. I've heard that Landstar might, but they don't have like a division, or they might have loads for 26-foot box trucks, but they don't really have a division of box trucks. So I don't think that's feasible. I mean, you could probably go on to their load board, get approved to go onto their load board and search for loads that only take up a certain portion of a big trailer, right? Take up 20 feet of a 53-foot trailer or something. That's how I teach you guys to search for loads on the DAP board. One of the ways I teach you guys is don't just go in and look for box truck loads on the DAP board. Go in there and look at those semi-truck loads and look for the partials, and then call them up and say, hey, this load is sitting here. It's been here for a couple of days. I can get those 10 pallets or 8 pallets or whatever it is on my box truck. Can you go ahead and let me take that? Okay. And there's some other tips in there too. Let's see what Andrea is saying. I agree with him. I have noticed that Amazon has provided loads for box trucks too. Yes. So do you know what the box truck business is, Andrea, with Amazon? I can explain it real quick for those of you who don't know. Amazon's box truck business is United States Postal Service business. So what you do, well, Landstar, Amazon will put up a box truck load, and they will give you all the information, and it'll tell you how many stops it is. It might be 1 stop, it might be 6 stops, but it'll be a route, and each of your stops goes to a different post office. And when you're done, when you get to point B, whether it's 50 miles away or 150 miles away, then you're done. Then you have to come back empty to where you started from. So yes, they are like one-way loads, because once you're done dropping off all the pallets to the post offices, there's nothing else to do. So then what I told my people is, look, here again, let's look at the DAP board. And it's just not, I say the DAP board a lot, you guys, because they're like the biggest out there, and they've got all kinds of loads. Okay. There's others out like TQL. Okay. Like Phil was talking about, there's others out there. There's another one too. Truckstop.com. I think truckstop.com might take new authority. Don't quote me on that, but you can check and see. So yes, but if you're going to do that, go ahead and sign up with them, sure. But you're going to be working a lot from the DAT board. They have the most loads available. So go to the DAT board and just go to trydat.net, trydat.net, get that free 30 days and and do your research. And so what I would tell my people is, look, when you're on these box truck loads for Amazon Relay, don't pigeonhole yourself into just going one way. Go ahead and take those tools out of your back pocket. And some of those tools, should include the DAP board. If you've got more than 3 months experience, it should include CH Robinson. Yeah, they have heavy ass loads. Yeah, they're heavy, man. But you know what? If you're running and it's a rate that you can run with, just take the load, right? And go to these other boards. Go to Convoy. You go to Landstar and see what is in the area that your last load is going to be dropped off at the post office, and see if you can grab anything from anywhere, or like within a 25-mile radius or something, to get you pointed back home. Even if it doesn't get you all the way back home, or if it gets you a little bit past back home, at least you're getting paid to come back. Now, Amazon says that they are compensating for those deadhead miles. Compensation to me might be different than what compensation to you is. So, have other brokers in your back pocket. Don't pigeonhole yourself into just one or two brokers. It's free to get signed on with anybody out there that'll give you a load. And dispatchers. There's nothing wrong with getting a dispatcher. It's gonna, he's gonna take a little bit of a cut. If you find a good one, it's not going to be that big, but it's another option, and it's just a cost of doing business, right? So if you don't want to sit and look at all of these load boards, then get a dispatcher that will do it for you. Try them out, and if you guys work together, then use them as much as you can. That takes the research away from you. Or what am I going to do tomorrow? Or what am I going to do next week? A lot of these guys have dedicated routes and contract routes that if you perform good for them for 2 or 3 or 4 times, they or you can bring it up to say, hey, what else you got that, might elevate my situation here. Don't be afraid to talk to these guys, because listen, they're getting paid. I don't really like the way our trucking system is with brokers and so forth, but I don't hate brokers. I mean, obviously with our system, we need them, right? But you got to find the honest ones. You can make arrangements with them. I made 2 fantastic relationships with 2 brokers off the DAP board and got great loads from them. So, but you have to do your part. You have to be good at customer service. You've got to be good at picking up on time, delivering on time, and not having any issues with the shipper or the receiver, right? Not knocking anybody out on the dock or whatever. So you make those arrangements, man, and you do wind up getting loads. So, oh, here, Phil, I want to see what you said here about that. He says you're in the Northeast. 26 air ride, lift gate. Yeah. See, there you go. So he's using them for partial loads to get a good RPM, which is fantastic. And that's another thing, you guys. Listen, it's not always about finding the $3 loads, or even these days, the $2 loads, right? You have to know what your bottom line is in terms of what is it costing you to run your truck. All right. You have to know that you have to know 2 figures. You have to know how much is your truck costing you sitting in the driveway, not running, and how much is your truck costing you when it's running. So when it's running, when you take all of your costs into account, You come up with a figure. My figure was 124. All right. So I knew that if I had to take a buck and a quarter load for whatever reason, I was in North Dakota, or, I'm in a place where there's too much freight, and, well, let's talk about Florida, whatever, getting out of Florida, right? I knew that if I took a load for a buck and a quarter, I was going to break even. All right. But if I'm thinking that, I have to go out and make $2 a mile, um, and that's all I'm looking at is $2, 250, $3 plus, and I'm not finding any loads, well, it's smart for me to um, make a decision to take a cheaper load to get out of an area or to go into an area. It's not always just getting out, but it's going into. And by the way, if you know you're going into an area that has low rates coming out, you kind of want to get a good rate going in, right? You want to find a better rate going in so that that rate can help you with your rate coming out. So you absolutely have to know what your business is costing you, you guys. You're going to fail if you don't. So, so what if I take $1.50 load? Yeah, it's nowhere near what I want. I wanted two and a quarter, when I was running. That's what I wanted. I wanted two and a quarter. I didn't want anything less. But I can go all the way down to one and a quarter. But if I stayed at that two and a quarter in some markets and it just wasn't there, and Amazon was there, where they weren't anywhere close to it. They were like $1.80 or something. I wouldn't consider it. Well, so then I'd sit a day. So now I've lost a day on the truck. Okay, I've burnt insurance for the day, and I had no production. It's not smart to do that. If you know your bottom line for both the truck sitting, because what do you have when the truck is sitting? You have a truck payment, you have insurance, right? So you pay that whether or not you're running, but you have to know both. If you want help, I do have a worksheet. It's an Excel worksheet that I put together where all you have to do is plug in your numbers. I give that out free. Okay. Email me, Tony@truckingtopicstoday.com. Email me. I will give you that sheet. All right. But if you don't know right now, sitting down watching this, if you don't know what your cost is, you're going to fail. All right. Because there's times you got to make those hard decisions, but you want to make an educated decision in terms of taking a cheap load. All right. Especially these days. Um, there was something else, Orlando, you had up here. So I agree with this, Orlando. But it's hard for a lot of people to get hazmat for whatever reason, and oversized has always paid well, right? And it always will. Um, but again, it's a um, you have to know what you're doing. You have to get in there and get trained at it and so forth. Now, Landstar, when I was a BCO with them, I did take an oversized load course just before I left there, and there wasn't too much uh, to know. I mean, it seemed fairly easy for my mind anyway, and I have a fairly simple mind, but it seems fairly easy that I can go out and do an oversized load. Nothing crazy like the windmills, okay? But just a regular oversized load. You're a little bit wide, you're a little bit long, whatever, and you need a pilot or whatever. Um, might want to look into that. Look into getting some oversized training. Um, So let me make sure that I've talked to you about everything. I've talked to you about how I really feel like Amazon is they are cleaning house. There's no doubt they're cleaning house, but also they're cleaning house so much that they're cleaning out people they shouldn't be cleaning out. All right, good carriers are being caught in the middle of being deactivated, suspended, investigated, and all of this, and it's all has to do with not all. Sorry, a lot of it has to do with Amazon's software. They already admitted it at one point that uh, you companies have been deactivated because due to our software. And in fact, was it Andrea? I think it was Andrea that said that this happened to her. She's on right now, and they emailed her back, and evidently she's now back on. All right, but there's a lot of people who aren't getting back on. So was this a way to clean those people out? Uh, Kind of like without being too harsh about it. I mean, I don't know. It's it's troubling to me, everything that's going on. And then, of course, now um, you are now constrained to having a 6-month uh, authority period before you can apply. Um, yeah, and it's always been one day since I've been associated with Amazon in 2017. Let's see if I've missed anything for you guys. Oh, can I just tell you? Listen, there's other issues that are coming up on why people are getting deactivated. You guys absolutely cannot double broker a load. They don't call it double brokering. What do they call that? So you're getting a load from Amazon and you're giving it to another driver, maybe with another company. Okay, so almost like he's leased onto you. That is absolutely 100% against Amazon's policies, and boy, are they cracking down on it right now. I've had 4 emails maybe since Friday, since last Thursday, that has said that companies are being deactivated for being associated. This is how it's worded: for being. I wish I can go and get it. Being associated with a carrier with a SCAC and a SCAC code that is not abiding by Amazon's policies. Now, normally, when Amazon sends that email, um, there is an appeal process. They give you a email address to appeal their decision or their investigation. And even then, like I said earlier, very early, that has never worked. Not for anybody that I was helping or that called me or asked me for assistance. It never worked. Amazon wound up deactivating them. So those of you out there that are like double brokering or getting a load from your relay board and giving it out to somebody else, yeah, it's not that won't work. And I know that some of you are also um, covering up DOT with magnets with like your DOT. So if you have an outside guy come in with their truck and you're basically selling them a load, an Amazon load, then there are owners who will have magnets available with their DOT number that they can put on the side of the truck and cover up their DOT number, right? You got me? Am I making sense? And they're finding those people too. So that is huge. The truck absolutely has to be your truck. I don't know how they figure some of this stuff out, especially when the DOT number is covered up, but they are. The other thing for being deactivated are your metrics. What's your metric score like? They used to be a little bit more lenient on this, but if you get below 90%, they're really taking a look at you now. Now, you used to be able to get down to like 85%, and even below sometimes, and you'd be fine, but not anymore. So those are the last 2 things that I wanted to tell you about, are being deactivated for passing loads along to other carriers, because that is 100% against their policy. Now, also, they could be wrong, so if any of you get those emails, just go ahead and appeal it and ask them for the proof. Not that they're going to give it to you. Okay. So with that, if you do have 6 months of active authority and you do want to consider Amazon for a time, if you don't have much else going on, I can help you at relayapproval.com. For those of you who might be company drivers and might be looking at getting your own authority, I think Orlando, I did this for you. SameDayDOT.net. You can get started there and we can get your DOT and authority started. Pretty easy thing to do. And again, if you guys want to talk to me, I've had 4 phone calls today. It's crazy. You can go to tonytime.co and you can have access to my calendar there, and we can have a discussion about anything you want trucking related. Well, I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of things. If you want to bring up something else, just tell me what you want to talk about. So, and then again at trekkingtopics.com, everything there that the channel offers. Well, not quite everything. There's some things I still need to put up there, but it's a fresh website. Things are going well. Okay, so we've been here an hour. So are there any more comments? Let me just take a look. This is exactly where I'm at, Orlando. Yes, it is an excuse not to tell the truth. And like I say, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I hate to put words into people's mouth, but from what I've seen on my end, from past clients to people that I don't know who have seen my videos on YouTube, emailing me for help and have you seen this before? It's just too much in the past 4 to 6 weeks. My box is full of these emails, and I kind of think that Amazon's playing dirty. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You'll see in my videos I don't get negative at all, but this is something that's become an issue, and I think they are playing dirty. The one thing is they're not transparent. They won't come out, that you can't call them, and they're very vague in their notices to owners. It's not okay. I'm just going to say it. It's just not okay. Luis, I have a simple answer for your question right here, and I'm not trying to be coy or funny, but this is the answer to my question, and it is because they can. Okay. Says Tony, why are Amazon loads so cheap? Yeah, it's because they can. All right. They've got drivers in there, owners that are willing to take their cheap freight. Now, not all Amazon loads are cheap. Okay. Let me just go there. Across the board, I do say you're going to find better rates elsewhere. All right, you're going to find better rates with Amazon or the DAP board or Convoy or JB Hunt 360 if you have more than 3 months experience, or CH Robinson. In the end, you have a little bit more to deal with those companies. Okay, like Convoy's one-way loads, and then they allow you to use their trailer without any fee to get a load back to help you. There are other things you have to mess with. It's Amazon's easy because it's all drop and hook, right? You go pick up a trailer, drop a trailer, maybe pick one up from there and go to somewhere else. And drivers, as long as drivers take $1.25 loads or $1.10 loads, then Amazon will keep posting the loads because drivers are going to take it. All right. So that is the reason, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong. I could get a lot of backlash from that, but I doubt that I'm wrong on that. As long as people are taking cheap freight, these brokers, not just Amazon, any broker, they will keep posting loads at that rate. Let's see what I love the name. I do love your name, Go Truck. That's good, brother. That's good. Okay, so you have a point about that. He says, I definitely don't see Convoy or JB Hunt having higher rates. They are usually 25 cents to 40 cents lower than Amazon. So that could be just for your area. All right. It depends on where you're at. For instance, I can't run the JB Hunt the JB Hunt 360 app on the West Coast. Well, at least I couldn't a few years ago. It just didn't pay. I deleted it as soon as I got it. So I believe that is just due to where you're at. I would be interested actually. So I still have the Convoy app because I do some training on it. Um, I'm going to go to Convoy and I'm going to take a look at some of the Midwest and the Northeast and Chicago, right around there, and see if that is true with Amazon rates. Okay. And it could be, but I see you did clarify it with at least in the Southeast, and you could be right. Like I said, in the Southwest, I couldn't use JB Hunt. Amazon rates actually were higher than JB Hunt over here at that time. So, uh, look, guys, I appreciate you being on. I appreciate the comments. I'm going to give you a little bit more time to bring on any last questions you might have, any comments. By the way, if you're looking to upgrade your ELD, if you need an ELD, if you're thinking about the keep trucking system, one way you guys can support the channel without supporting it out of your pocket to me or to the channel is if you go to freeeld.net, that takes you to a Keep Trucking site, and they have great equipment there. If you want to upgrade or if you need an ELD, you can take a look at that. So that's an affiliate link that does help out the channel. And I guess with that, let's see. I think I have one more comment here. So yeah, hey, Go Truck. Let's talk about this for a second. Are you doing the contracts off of the relay board? I'm guessing that's got to be correct. Those short-term contracts, I guess they last like a week. Some of them last a couple weeks. I've seen a couple last up to 6 weeks. And yeah, yes, okay. And are you finding that the time limit that they give you, the routing, and so forth, does it seem to be doable, or are they? I heard that they were scheduling the contracts to where it was kind of almost impossible to get it done within the hours of service. So I wonder if you have any hours of service issues with their contracts. What else about contracts that I had a question on? I know they get posted on a certain day of the week. I think it depends on where you're at when those contracts get posted. And I know you got to be really fast to get them. Or can't. Okay, here was the big one. Also, Go Truck. Okay, so he's saying that he always has extra time. He thinks they could tighten it up a little. Okay, so it seems like they've maybe got a handle on that. But let me ask you this: have you ever had Amazon cancel half the contract? Like you get halfway through the week or whatever, and they cancel the rest of it. And if they do, if you've ever been into that situation, did they pay you that contract rate that you agreed upon when you took the load? Okay, so yeah, Wednesday they come out in your area, and you got to be right on it. I know you do. You got to be right on it because those contracts do go fast. I think it's a different day out here. Yeah, see, Juan says yes, and they don't pay it. So this bothers me because when you accept, okay, so Juan says yes, they do cancel it, but they don't get paid. And then Small Good Decisions comes on and says my last day was canceled, but they still paid out as agreed. So I'm going to tell you something. I think this is a legal matter because when you guys, uh, okay, so they have paid you. Okay. Um, because my understanding, well, it's not my understanding, it's what it is when you guys click and accept that contract, whether it's 1 day or a week or 6 weeks, that is a contract. That that is set in stone. You're going to get paid that certain amount. And if the runs are canceled, any part of it, then it shouldn't affect your compensation. If you guys are having problems with that, where you are under a contract and they cancel any portion of it, and actually, if they cancel the contract, I think any sooner than 2 hours before you're due to start the contract, I get they kind of like they send you an email saying the contract's been canceled and it's 1 hour before you start. I think you're due that contract money. Okay. So they weren't too big on that when the contracts first came out a few years ago, but looks like they're tightening up. So that's good. That's good. Um, Interesting. Any last questions, you guys? Like I said, everything trucking topics, almost everything. I'm still putting up some things. I'm starting to be a little bit more visible. I haven't put up many videos lately. I just want to be there to answer any questions that I can for you guys. Um, I don't claim to know everything. I normally don't talk about stuff that I don't know myself. Okay. So me going out and hanging Amazon out on a wire like I've done this evening is not normally within my scope, but there is just too much going on over there to think that this is all just a mistake on their end. They're definitely up to something. And again, so you guys know that if anybody else is on new here, it's no longer 1 day authority. You have to wait 6 months now to get signed up with them. So email me, Tony at trekkingtopicstoday.com, or you can go on to the website, trekkingtopics.com, and you can message me through the website or email me through the website. And I'd be happy to talk with you, answer any questions you have. And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and go have some dinner. Yeah, Juan. So Juan says the pay is like we've been talking about. Yeah, the whole stream is the pay is very low. Yeah, you're absolutely right, brother. But that's kind of the industry we're in, right? I guess we just kind of have to suck it up, especially this time of year. Okay, I've got a couple more comments here real quick. Orlando says that they did pay the block. Okay, that's fantastic. And Luis, with this question, I do not believe so. You want to book a box truck load or loads less than 53 feet? I think if I understand that correct. Yeah. Can you email me, Luis? Email me at Tony at trekkingtopicstoday.com so I can get into your head a little bit more about exactly what you mean by that, because for some reason I may not be understanding it 100%. Yeah, man. I'm glad that it's all working out for you. I try to mentor my people best I can, but like I say, I don't know everything, and I only talk about what I know normally. So, at any rate, you guys, thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and look for some more videos come out. I'm gonna do some more on DAT and so forth. So as always, you guys, please be safe out there. It was good talking to you this evening. I'm gonna get some dinner and talk to Mr. Daniels a little bit right now. And I hope to see you guys soon. All right. Take care. Be safe.